go out from here and do everything you can to elect Rocky, because he's one of at least the 39 we want to bring a change in this Congress. And I'm particularly glad that he's faced the enemy in those faraway places, because while we have a number of good people in Congress, we need guys with courage. And that's what they're missing with a lot of them. I can remember when we had some real leaders in the U.S. Congress. We've got a lot of good people, but you need somebody with the courage to go forward, to take leadership, and stand up against the crowd. And that's what you've got in Rocky. So go forth in the night. You got a sergeant's voice, Rocky, but I have to survive.
And you are fabulous. I've got to remember those lines. Those are really good. The Joe Biden line is the best. I love that. But thank you so much for joining us here this morning. I'm simply coming up here to help monitor questions. Okay, is this, okay, they're going to be, you want to stay up here? Okay. Okay, we're good. Okay, but we're going to monitor it this way. Got it. We'll get our act together. Okay, do we have any questions for either Rocky or Phyllis? I know we have some questions.
Either one of you, I'd like you to explain crowd of people, which I'm sure you all understand, what is the danger of calling a constitutional convention?
I'll get my exercise this morning. That's good.
The United States Constitution has lasted over 2 centuries. It's the best Constitution that anybody ever wrote. It has enabled us to grow and prosper in freedom and with a growing standard of living. And I don't see any George Washingtons, James Madisons, and Ben Franklins around today. And I'm very worried about the people who think they are, who think they can do a better job. Now, former Chief Justice Warrenberger was a friend of mine, and he wrote me a letter, which you can get on my website, eagleforum.org, in which he says flatly that once you call a convention, you cannot control its agenda. And I personally think that Obama has the grassroots contacts that he could elect the element. He knows how to, well, when he put his stimulus bill through Congress, he bragged that they had more than 3,500 House meetings when he gave instructions to his people. Every congressional district would tell their congressman to vote for the stimulus bill, which was to make more government jobs. They didn't make any private industry jobs. But that's what they did. And the people who are pushing this, who are definitely not James Madison and Ben Franklin, and the way that Obama could control it, and the fact that once you call a convention, and many of you have been in Republican caucuses, and Republican conventions, you know that whoever's got the gavel can run it. There's no question about it. And it would be very dangerous. We do not want to put our Constitution on the chopping block. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I totally agree. And I'd like to echo one thing. Last week I was at the Rochester Older Persons Commission, which is the senior center in a large what I would call a more affluent community in our district, Rochester Hills. And I was going from table to table meeting senior citizens that were voting their absentee ballots. And almost all the tables were pretty solid in support, until I got to this one table filled with where I guess all the Democrats congregated. And we got into a big argument about health care. They said, this is exactly what they said to two ladies. They said, health care is our right, supported by the Constitution. And they were very mean and very upfront and very emotional. A lot of times, when you get emotion in politics, you basically tilt the Constitution to things that are that will take away our individual liberties. And we are one nation that truly has a constitution that limits what government can do or cannot do to us. And I would hate to open up a constitutional convention, just like Mrs. Schlafly said, to emotion and to changing the direction of what our founders developed for us. Doesn't the Bible say, spare the rod, spoil the child? The Constitution keeps our government in check. We open it up and start allowing our emotions, what we want given to us, and spreading the wealth for the majority, then we will have what every other nation has. That is a lack of liberty. Maybe not freedom, but a lack of liberty.
I'll just add one thing. Healthcare is not in the Constitution. Only socialist countries have constitutions which are a list of entitlements, what the government is going to do for you and give you. That's not our Constitution. Our Constitution is what the government cannot do to you.
Okay, some other questions?
A lot of people really do not realize what they think that the government is giving them. It's our tax money. The people who are giving this money and the government is misusing. But a lot of people feel they're entitled to this. There is a possibility that our Republicans could really pass this message clearly about this very important issue, I think. What do you think? That is there a possibility that the Republicans can take that up and explain? I never hear it.
Carmen, I'm going to take a first crack at this. And one of the things when I've been running for office, traveling around our entire district, I've been saying this. I am a Republican because I believe in the Republican platform more than I do any other. But I am just as frustrated with Republicans as I am with Democrats. One of the things that Mrs. Schlafly just said a few minutes ago was that we need more people with courage and with backbone and discipline, because you get up to Washington and Washington changes you because you want to be with the in crowd, where you listen to the leadership, what the leadership wants, instead of what the Constitution dictates in the people you represent, the people you work for. So, do I have faith that we're going to change it with the previous group of Republicans that we've had? Probably not. But, as Mrs. Schlafly says, there's a group of Republicans that are being challenged, the rhinos that are being challenged in primary races all across this country, as well as a brand new class of people that are more concerned with the direction of our country. And that's where I basically did campaigning that we need more patriots in Congress and less politicians.
One of the things Obama's been doing is deliberately trying to increase the percentage of our population that is dependent on government for your living. And for example, do you know what was the second biggest demographic group that voted for Obama? Obviously the blacks were the biggest demographic group. You all know what was the second biggest? Unmarried women. 70% of unmarried women voted for Obama. And this is because when you kick your husband out, you got to have big brother government to be your provider. And they know that. And they've admitted that, and they have all kinds of bills to continue to subsidize illegitimacy, which is now nationwide running at 41%. 1.7 million babies in our country were born illegitimate last year. And the Obama administration wants to continue to subsidize this group because they know their Democratic votes. The Republicans can never outbid them on the amount of money they're going to get. And as Ronald Reagan said, if you subsidize something, you're going to get more of it. If you tax it, you're going to get less of it.